I'd like to call this Fernley City Council meeting to order, July 2nd, 2025. If anybody needs hearing devices, please see Ms. Swanson up here and she will set you up with that. To avoid meeting disruption, please place your cell phones in the silent mode or turn them off during the meeting. All meetings are recorded when addressing the council. Please sign in, state your name, and speak clearly into the microphone. Line item 1, introductory items, Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll lead us in the pledge. All right, thank you. So now we'll go roll call. Ward 1, Councilman Hannon is present. Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski is present. Ward 3, Councilman Lau is present. Ward 4, Councilman Torres is present. And Ward 5, Councilman Mendoza is absent. And speaking of that, I wanted to go through a couple things before we get started on this. And I want to read some of the resolutions and the Fernley Municipal Code as far as attendance goes for the council and myself up here. And resolution 17-010 stipulates, whereas despite the diversity of the city council, all have chosen to serve in the public office in order to improve the quality of life with the city of Fernley. And on 2B, it says, decide all questions of order decorum subject, however, to an appeal of said decision forthwith by members of the city council, in which event a majority vote of city council in attendance shall govern and conclusively determine such questions of order of decorum. The main one I want to talk about is the Fernley Municipal Code, which is section 2. And it states this in G, in attendance. Council members will have 3 paid personal absences during 1 year period starting January 1 of each year. Personal absences is defined as excused and not applicable to council approved absences, impairment, and or illness. Number 4 states a council member missing 4 unexcused council meetings between January 1 and December 31st, not including any personal absences or excused absences, shall constitute neglect or refusal to discharge the duties of a council member. Absent appeal, the council member's office shall be deemed vacant at the next regular scheduled meeting. Having said that, I want to go through the list on these meetings. Councilman Hannon on February 13 has an excused absence, and it states that I need to say if these are excused or unexcused, and this is an excused absence where he was sick. And that is the only meeting he has missed. Let's see. In 18 meetings, he's missed 1 meeting. Councilwoman Zaberski had missed last meeting, and it was excused, and that is the only meeting she has missed in 18 meetings. Councilman Lau had missed February 13th, and that meeting was excused. Albert Torres missed, Albert Torres missed on May 7th, which was a special meeting. And he also missed, I thought there was a meeting. Wasn't there a meeting in February that you missed on that, Albert? Oh, that was the only one. Yeah, that was the only one. That was a special meeting. Councilman Mendoza has
Mr. Mayor, was that meeting for Councilman Torres excused or unexcused?
Yes, excused.
Thank you.
And Joe Mendoza, Councilman Mendoza, has attended 3 by Zoom that he wasn't sitting up on the dais, and he missed April 2nd, which is excused because he announced it here in open public meeting. He missed May 7th, which is unexcused because no call, no show, did not notify anybody. On January 9th, he has an excused meeting. So according to these resolutions and municipal code, you're given 3 excused absences. After that, it is an unexcused absence unless it's a death or you're gravely ill. Is that correct?
Aaron Mortson, City Attorney. It includes attendance of funerals for close family members, illnesses, and any times where you're required to sequester based on disease.
Right. So, and then tonight, Councilman Mendoza is not here again tonight. And so therefore, this is an unexcused absence.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would just like to correct the record. Councilman Hannon was on Zoom February 13th.
Sick but home.
Oh,
He appeared via Zoom.
Well, Councilman Lau was on Zoom on February 13th.
No, Councilman Lau was absent.
Yeah. Councilman Hannon was on Zoom.
Councilman Hannon?
Yeah. I thought I stipulated that you were on Zoom sick.
No,
Oh, okay. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. So that's for the record on that. So I just wanted council to be advised of that. And I would strongly suggest that council read our resolutions as far as attending our meetings up here on the dais. I truly believe, even though you're on Zoom, that you're not really fully engaged in a meeting because you might have some other thing that takes your mind off what you're really doing, and you really don't get the effect of sitting up here on the dais and listening to the presentations and listening to the people talk. So, Aaron, I guess that's all I should say for now, right?
Aaron Mortson, City
Yeah.
Attorney. We can leave it there.
Okay, so now we'll move on to line item 1.3, public forum. This is a portion of the meeting devoted to the public. The public may comment on any matter that is not specifically included on the agenda as an action item. Items not included on the agenda cannot be acted upon other than to place them on a future agenda. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person at the meeting or raise your hand featured in Zoom, *9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. The mayor may, at his discretion, hold comments until the second public forum at the end of the meeting. Public comments submitted prior to 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be provided to City Council and added to the record, but will not be read during the live meeting. Any public input received after 4 p.m. the day of the meeting will be included in the record, but may not reach council members before action is taken. Is there any public input at this time?
For the record, Cody Wagner representing the Fernley Community Foundation. We just wanted to voice support tonight for both items on the agenda concerning the CRRC area. That would be the playground and the daycare planning. We had a really good meeting last week, I think, involving kind of everyone. We weren't aware of some of the plans, but we really kind of heard what the Boys and Girls Club had to say about a lot of it. The bottom line is the money is there or could be there for some of these things, and that's a really important way to proceed, I think, as we go forward, because we've spent all the ARPA dollars, so we're looking for money to add to that area. I'd also just like to emphasize the importance of collaboration. I think we're on the right path towards getting as many amenities in that area as we possibly can for the rest of our community. Love that the Boys and Girls Club is working on the lease right now. The building looks great. So very happy with those items, and look forward to being a part of the rest of the process. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other public input at this time?
It's already green.
Excuse me?
That's good. Okay, Debbie Skinner for the record. Just would like to make a public statement to the City of Fernley Council. Good evening, city members, council, mayor, and city staff. My name is Debbie Skinner, and I am proud. I have been a proud business owner in Fernley for the past 25 years. I'm here tonight not as part of the agenda, but as a concerned citizen and a community member. At the June 18th meeting, I was placed on the agenda for removal from a board position. The discussion was to center around my competency, health, and state of mind topics that were only inappropriate and unsustainable, but also deeply disrespectful. This came across to me, as many others, as a public attempt to damage my character, reputation, and longstanding contributions to the city, a witch hunt, frankly. I was later informed by the mayor that I would not be on tonight's agenda. However, I could not allow this moment to pass without addressing the profound distrust this situation has caused between myself and this council, the mayor, and the city attorney, and certain departments in our local government. Fernley is a town built on the backbone of small businesses. We are your neighbors, your friends, supporters of the community. When council members align themselves with department heads to make baseless accusations against small business owners, it is not only undermining our efforts, but also sends a chilling message to others who may wish to invest their time and resources into helping Fernley grow into a meaningful, community-driven ways. My business has only ever tried to improve our space, adding amenities to the park that could benefit not just our customers, but a wider community. Our requests for guidance and collaboration have been met with closed minds and apparent preference for working with larger companies, corporations who, once their profits are made, often leave without a trace of the investment in our town's future. Is Fernley at the crossroads where unchecked growth and corporate interests take priority over those who have lived, worked, and contributed here for decades? I certainly hope not. I caution anyone who wants to serve or give back to the city to be fully aware of how the city politics may be used to silence and discredit you if you are challenging to the status quo. I am again calling once again for a formal written apology from the mayor for the public treatment of my name and business. It is not just a matter of a personal pride, but a restoring trust in the way our city leadership treats its citizens. I urge this council to remember your duty is to serve with integrity, fairness, and respect for all members of the community. Jelp Jacks once said, "You ought to expect better of people. It encourages you to be a better person yourself." Thank you.
Any other public input?
My name is Jim Kerr. I'm a 28-year resident of Fernley. And my comments are on the dirt bikes that are wreaking havoc in our town. There's about 50 of us online that have gone through a big discussion over the last week and a half, and everybody is sick and tired of this. Is it lack of laws that keep LCSO from doing something? Or are they being complacent, or what is going on? You know, I watched last Tuesday night, I watched 3 kids come down Farm District Road. And they were riding on the sidewalk on the west side, doing 40 miles an hour or so, just blowing past, all the side streets, just blowing past them. They got up almost to the trailer park, and they almost ran over 3 kids that were walking on the sidewalk. Something has to be done before one of the citizens are hurt or these kids are hurt. Imagine this, your son's going down there, wheeling down the road, slams into the side of a car. He's a quad for the rest of his life. What are your golden years going to be doing? You're going to be spent feeding him baby food and changing his diapers. You're not going to have any golden years. We need something done. I want to get together with our sheriff and find out if it's lack of laws that are preventing them from doing something about these kids. The cops stopped them all, and the cops know where these kids live, yet nothing is done. I watched a 12-year-old kid run from one of the cops. The cop tried to stop him. Kid went right around him and I know where that kid lives. If I know where these kids live, the cops know. Something has to be done before somebody gets really hurt or killed. Is it lack of laws that, is it, well then, do we need to put a few more dollars into the coffers so we get our own little police force to go after these kids? Because I mean, you're not going to hurt these kids, but what you have to do is hit the parents where it hurts, and that's in their pocketbook. A $500 fine, impound the bikes, start off $100 fine for first offense. Second offense, $250 and you impound the bike. Third offense, $500 and their bike gets impounded. And if they run from the cops, they don't ever get the bike back. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. We're tired of it. Everybody. And it's not just in one little area. I live over on Vine Street. Everybody thinks that's a racetrack. As soon as they turn off of Fremont onto Vine, it's, to the wall, all the way down Vine. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Sir, your time is up. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have a comment, if that's okay.
Yes, it is. Go ahead,
Thank
Councilman
you.
Hannon.
Sir, Mr. Is it Kerr?
Yes, sir.
I took some of your public posts online and I sent them last week and this week to the deputy chief of the sheriff's department and had a discussion with him. And he assured me that he will be addressing that issue. I routinely look at social media posts and I forward that on to the sheriff's department when appropriate. And so yours and others, as I see fit, we send that off. So he's aware of that. And he's off on a medical for a few weeks. But when he returns, we'll be having a conversation about how they're resolving that issue. So they're looking into it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Lau?
Yeah, I agree with you, sir. But the first offense should be a $500 fine because they're out there. I walk my Akitas every morning down Westerland and I got 2 or 3 kids flying down that. And then they're behind this apartment complex right here down, going around. Somebody's going to go crazy and do something horrible to those people on a motorcycle. It's easy to do, but we need the law enforcement to do something. Long time ago, I had a chat with one of the old sheriffs. That's why I voted for Albert Torres for sheriff, because this last sheriff would not do a damn thing about anything out in Altamont, and they were getting crazy back there. And it's time we do something. Thank you for bringing it up too. Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman Zaborski?
I was just, hopefully we can organize something with our sheriff's department and maybe the city can do a post just kind of reiterating the laws behind our ATVs and using them on public streets.
Sure, we could probably put something. Yeah, we'll get with the sheriff's department and speak with chief deputy. Oh yeah, it'd be state police because it is Farm District Road. It's so Councilman Hannon has been in contact with Deputy Chief Branningham, and then also we'll get with the state troopers because it actually is their road. So thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, just one more
Yes.
thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've also
Councilman.
reached out to the state police and invited them to our meetings to come under item 3. And they're trying to make arrangements to send a representative here to also give a report. So my understanding is the state police is the one that is enforcing this pretty heavily. And the sheriff's department is a little more lightheanded with like first offenses and educating people. I think they're more into educating, and they've been ticketing and issuing citations to people that they've seen multiple times. So it's sort of a work in progress. We did a workshop, I want to say back in 2020 or 2019 on off-road vehicles in Fernley and some of the codes, and most of those have remained the same. But if you would like to set up a workshop or something, we could do that.
Okay, thank you.
And Aaron Morrison, City Attorney, just make sure that if you are going to do that, make that a future agenda item and don't take any action today.
All right. Is there any other public input? Seeing none, is there any on Zoom? Okay, we'll move on to line item 1.4, looking for approval of the agenda. Councilman Lau.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lau, seconded by Councilman Hannan. Please vote.
Mayor, verbal, roll call.
Okay, we're going to do a verbal, Ward 1, Councilman Hannan.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zabriskie.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Move on now to looking for a motion for the consent agenda. Councilman Lau.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lau, seconded by Councilman Hannan. Please vote, or do we need to do
Yeah.
verbal again? Okay, Ward 1, Councilman Hannan.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zabriskie.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Ms. Swanson, would you please read the business licenses?
Yes, tonight we have Freedom Plumbing, Plumbing and Heating Contractor, Tedco Construction, Carpentry Contractor, His Plumbing, Plumbing Contractor, Joshua's Heating and Air, HVAC Contractor, Silver State Excavation, Excavation Grading Drain Contractor, John Longo Construction Company, General Engineering Contractor, All Four Seasons Roofing, Roofing Contractor, Miller Diesel Repair, Mobile Repair, Wild One Custom LLC, Hobby Crafter, Mountain View Montessori, Home Childcare, BSL Electric Corp., Electrical Contractor, Plumbing NV, Plumbing Contractor, Paramount Craftsman Services, Air Conditioning Contractor, Interwest Consulting Group, Engineering Services, Montrose Glass, Glass Contractor, Amigo Electric, Electrical Contractor, Stone Lake Masonry, Masonry Contractor, Summer Green Landscaping, Lawn Care and Tree Service, Western Oilfield Supply Company, Equipment Rentals, Carol S. Pilot Car Service, Pipe Barker Fire and Safety, Fire and Alarm Contractor, and Alpine Roofing, Roofing Contractor.
Wow. Ms. Swanson, are those new business licenses or some of those renewals? Those are new. Wow. Okay, great. We will now move on to line item 3. This is reports from various public entity representatives to provide general information to the council. No public action will be taken, and do we have anybody? I don't see anybody here from the police department, Lyon County Sheriff Department. So we'll go ahead and move on to staff reports. Deputy City Manager, Ms. Altek.
Good afternoon, Council. Lydia Altick, Deputy City Manager. I wanted to give you an update on the Main Street Art Park. So up on the screen, you'll see the this is the money that we have spent thus far, and this money is community block grant funding that we received, and we needed to spend this by June 30th. We were made aware, so we quickly got into gear and looked and tried to spend $60,000, and we're just about there. We've got about $7,000 left. Oh, man. So this is called phase 1, and that's what you've been seeing. You've seen well, at least you've seen the pathway that's been poured. And this is an asphalt pathway. What's also happened over there is some water lines and electrical lines have been sleeved in there, so we'll be able to access those as progress continues. But we've ordered planters and benches, and the planters are unique. They are self-watering planters, so we're really looking forward to those. They should be here about 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And we are hoping to get everything done by the 4th of July, but it just did not happen. The exciting thing, which you may have noticed up on the screen when you first walked in, was the Main Street Art Park sign that was completed by Twisted Steel. That is going to be installed about the middle of July. And that's going to also include a 10-foot flower sculpture that you might have also seen in the picture. And other flower sculptures will be going along the pathway as you see there. At the tree planter is a Trex donation. They have built us an 8x8 tree planter. So that's really exciting. And that one of those is done already. We ordered 3, I believe, and they're giving those to us. This is the guys pouring the path, phase 1. Phase 2, just a little bit further down and stops at where the gazebo used to be, the bottle cap gazebo. More pathway, as you see that thin black line, but also a couple more planters. We've put a crash gate in there so people will no longer be able to just drive through the Main Street Park, but actually have to park in that first area that is going to remain gravel at this time. And we were able to do that because our code allows parks and open space to have gravel parking. Also more benches and planters here. Some other art from Twisted Steel, which we have purchased. We are not able to furnish or purchase the gazebo for the area where the bottle cap gazebo used to be yet. We are going to be looking for some additional funding in the way of donations or grants later on. More of phase 2 being poured out. Phase 3 takes you all the way to the state of Nevada metal sign. And this includes more benches, some more art, and some shade structures. So we'll have leaf-like shade structures in this area. And I failed to mention on phase 1, we're also going to have some archways that will act as shade as well along the path. And what else can I talk about here? The main premise of the art park is art, right? So we're going to be doing as much as we can to present spaces for artists to put their work in there. And this goes on to talk about, this is phase 4 and 5, and we don't have any funding for that as yet, but that's going to be this area here. And that's going to be a continuation of the path. As you know, that Main Street Park narrows quite a bit towards the west. So it will just be a linear park with, these are some ideas. These are not set in stone, but Fernley Aces has talked about a musical instrument interactive park. And we also thinking about an idea with mural walls that can be changed over time. And this is a chance to get some high schoolers involved in art as well as professionals. And this is the last part, phase 5, which will meet the Nest parking area or not parking area, sidewalk, which is already in place. So we have to design all that, and that's additional work that's not listed here, but we actually need some drainage work done. And so some civil engineering done at that end of the park, because we do need to tie into that sidewalk. And then just past that sidewalk, crossing the street to Silver Lace, there is it's in approval right now with NDOT, but a funded crosswalk that the Main Street Fernley has got a grant for. So that's very exciting. It's going to be a pedestrian crosswalk with lights and a sign, so a safe crossing. I think that's it. Yeah. Any questions for me?
Councilwoman Zabriskie?
I do have a couple of questions. Could you go back to the sign? Because I think I'm confused as far as what are the flowers a part of the sign? Like the metal flowers are a part of. So I'm curious just with like the art installations that we're purchasing. Does the city have to have like insurance on those? Are there any sharp pieces? I'm only thinking like as a mom because some of them look, I love the artwork. I'm just like a little bit nervous as far as like liability goes. Like, are there some sharp spots on them? Is it going to be kind of further back or lifted up off the ground?
As far as I know, they are a little bit off the ground. The whole sign structure is going to be a little bit raised up, and there's going to be boulders around it.
Okay. That
Yeah.
if there's boulders around it, it helps. But I'm just thinking purely as a mom if I had real small kids or something. Polymade is like Polymade the benches. It's just like the wire benches with rubber on them. Is that right?
They are made of concrete.
Oh,
They look like wood,
okay.
but they're made of concrete, and so are the planters.
That's great.
Yeah.
I am curious how much of that property between like Main Street and the tracks, like the whole distance of the art park, how much of that does the city own and how much is the railroads? Or is that private property that can be sold off and there can be commercial stuff that goes behind the art park?
I don't have a map of the parcel, but it is a triangular shaped parcel that narrows as it goes west. And most of what you're seeing out there is Union Pacific Railroad.
Okay.
And we have the ability to lease it. We haven't looked into that. That's part of the big picture is to look into that because we could potentially use it for more parking, better parking, paved parking.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions from council? They're grants. They're grants.
Lydia, I'll take again. I can answer that question. I didn't mention, there is an area in there that we have designated for pavers, and those will have business names or people, persons, business, industries, names printed on them, and they are donors. So a big part of this is outside funding. And it's not only the city looking for outside funding, but Main Street Fernley is looking for outside funding actively, and so is ACES. So it is a huge part of the project is actually fundraising.
Okay, if there's no other questions, no other staff reports, we'll go ahead and go with Councilman. Councilman Hannon, you want to start?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to welcome everyone tonight. Nice to see a lot of people here. I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. Come out and visit the parade. I'll be at the Friends of the Fernley Animal Shelter stand. We'll be selling for donations some drinks and some snacks. And I encourage, we're right in front of the depot. Our animal control staff will be there. And I encourage you to stop by and visit us and learn about our endeavor and what we like to do in the city of Fernley. And I hope to see you all there. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Councilwoman Zaborski.
I'm just going to kind of mimic what Cody said. I'm really optimistic about the committee that we have going and being able to do those meetings with all of the groups involved. Just because I feel like there's some of us that were lacking information and hopefully having these committee meetings and communicating with staff is going to make it easier for us to communicate about the future phases of the CRRC and what that looks like so that we can kind of come together as a community to make it what we pictured. I also wanted to mention that I know that the big event is the 4th of July, but we also have a big softball tournament this weekend. So the out of town park will be packed literally all weekend. So starting from the 3rd on through the weekend, the out of town park will be really busy. So hopefully a lot of our businesses will also get some of that business.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Lau.
I would just like to thank the city of Fernley city staff, Loomis and Associates, and especially A&K Earth Movers for doing such a wonderful job rebuilding Shadow Lane. It's come out to a really beautiful, perfect job. we had a meeting last week over Cedar Street. I've told the residents there to go look if they have any concerns, look up at Shadow Lane, see how smooth that went. So far, our construction's going great. I also want to give a shout out to Lydia and that beautiful improvement in downtown at that art park. It kind of looks rough, but you're making it look a hell of a lot better. It's really looking a lot better. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Torres.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As they said, this 4th of July weekend is extremely busy. Some of the Fernley Convention and Tourism Authority sponsored events. The 4th of July committee has many events scheduled for the holiday, starting off with the Battle of the Bands on Thursday, July 3rd at 5 p.m. July 5th and 6th, Fernley Softball Tournament 4th of July Classic at the in-town and out-of-town park. And July 11th through the 13th is the Sacred Visions 14th Annual Powwow at Big Bend Ranch. And there are flyers on the back table with all of these events. And then in September, September 6th, there is a golf tournament out here at the ranch at Desert Lakes for the mental health affiliate NAMI Western Nevada. So you'll see some flyers coming out on that, and it'll also be on the flyer board, or I mean on the digital board downtown. And all the money goes to the 13 rural counties to provide mental health services. So if you're a sponsor, we'd love you to sponsor. If you're a player, please come out and play. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilman Torres. So I've got some really good, exciting news. I am, the FCTA sponsors our girls softball throughout the year with giving them funding for putting on these tournaments and advertising and everything. But I just want everybody to know that our District 3 8 to 10-year-olds won regionals. Our District 3 12U won regionals. And our Junior League softball team won regionals. All three of these teams are heading down to Vegas for state. And I know Councilwoman Zaberski didn't want to say nothing because I'm really proud of her because she has a daughter on each one of these three teams that are going to state. So she's going to be very busy. So anyways, congratulations to them. And I'm just so thankful that the city of Fernley and the FCTA committee helps them so that they also can help raise money for their teams. Also, I was able to go to an Electrification Coalition media event yesterday held by the Reno Sparks Chamber of Commerce. Was quite interesting. I was able to talk with Mayor Lawson about EVs and charging stations and how good they are and what they're going to bring to Northern Nevada as far as building the batteries and the lithium loop and all that. So it was really exciting event. It was on Channel 2 News last night. And so that was one thing that I did. I also want council to be aware of at our next meeting, I'm going to be bringing forward 3 different outfits to look for a new city manager. But also, I will send an email out to each individual council person as far as to see how they would like me to proceed forward with this. Rather, it is putting it out on our own to find a city manager and seeing what kind of input we have doing it ourselves through HR and that. Or if council wants us to pick one of the 3 that I will be bringing forward. I know that I am recommending one because they are a flat fee. Everybody else it could be anywhere from $40,000 all the way up to $60,000, depending on what we have them do. So I will be bringing that forward to City Council as a presentation next meeting. So be on the lookout for that. Also, if at any time, like I say, I have an open door policy and I need to apologize to Councilman Hannon because he called me and I didn't get back to him. So I publicly want to apologize for not getting back to you right away. But I did try to get a hold of him today and we just kind of didn't meet up. So anyways, that's what I have to report.
Mr. Mayor, I thank
Yes.
you. I accept your apology. No apology needed. We worked together and we're a team. And so I understand we all have things that we're busy. So thank you for saying that and look forward to continuing to work with you.
Yes, thank you. Line item 4, proclamations by the mayor, there are none. So line item 5, presentations is presentation, discussion, possible action on the playground equipment to be donated by the Boys and Girls Club of Truckee Meadows to the city of Fernley. And Deputy City Manager Lydia Oltek.
Good evening, council. We have a chance here to receive a playground at the new CRRC. That there is a pretty recent drone shot, looking pretty good. Let's see. So the Boys and Girls Club approached the city and asked if there was a place to put a playground. And they wanted to donate it along with a picnic area. They would donate the playground equipment, the shade structure, 2 picnic tables, 2 benches, and artificial turf. The city met just last week, as Felicity mentioned, with the CRRC Advisory Committee, and which includes members of the Fernley Community Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club, and the city. This another drone shot. The depot is on the right. The CRRC is on the left. And the blue arrow is pointing to a light green area that we have designated as future playground. There were some initial concerns that came up at the meeting about the placement of the playground because there were some previous plans to install a permanent stage at this location. However, through some compromising at the meeting, we were all in agreement with the placement. What happened? Here we go. So just got to turn it off and turn it on. Oh. I added this rectangle, and that is the location where we could potentially put a portable stage for any community events or concerts that we have. We floated this idea and it seems pretty popular. So we will not going out and purchasing that just yet. The Boys and Girls Club actually have said that they have one they'd like to donate to us, but we're going to get there soon enough. I just thought I would mention it. As well as shade structures. So in our initial discussions in design of the Community Response and Resource Center, the event lawn was going to have natural turf and have trees, and that now full circle, artificial turf seemed like the best material. And the shade structures, and what's funny is the shade structures and the turf did not make it to the final plan set. Well, we have installed now an artificial turf, but we don't have shade structures. So this is not on the agenda or anything. I just wanted you to kind of think about whether this is something that you would like to see. Because the reason the placement would be something like this is because of the exposure of the sun is facing directly south. So what these would do is they would shade actually the sidewalk area. And so placement of maybe 3 or 4 benches along the sidewalk could be a shaded area. This is what the playground will look like, except it will be on turf. This is what the 20 by 20 shade structure looks like. It's metal. And just some background here. So the potential change order to remove the previously planned landscaping is 72,093. This is the plan that I just got today. So they're really moving fast on this. This is Loomis and TSK and our Mike Allen working on this to get this done. And this is what it would look like. So you have that blank area that would be the playground, the artificial turf and playground. And of course, on the right is the event lawn that's in place, the large area. So sidewalk to your left, the area for the playground. Upper left-hand corner would be DG with an irrigated 3 or 4 trees up there. And then the rest is sidewalk. And then that shade structure would sit on that 30 by 30 concrete pad. There would also be a seat wall that is so that no one from the parking lot can drive into the playground. Just a barrier. And that's about it. I don't have the exact cost on that, but I've been assured that it would probably not exceed $70,000. I don't see how it would, but especially since all the donated playground shade structure, the cost would be the work and the concrete.
Lydia, can you go back to that screen?
Go
please?
ahead, Councilwoman
Go ahead.
Zaberski.
Sorry, I just wanted to stop her before she changes screen. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that the pro green cool play with shock drain means that that's gonna cool the turf. Is that a part of the artificial turf? Because if we don't have shade structures over that, I know that that turf gets crazy hot.
Yeah.
I definitely understand shading like the concrete as well, but that turf is gonna get crazy hot. So I'm assuming, because I'm not an engineer, that cool play with shock drain means there's a cooling mechanism underneath the turf.
I believe so, Felicity. I think this is it's a newer product, and I'm sure that all newer products have that built in. But
If I may add something to it, and I'm not sure, but like up at the high school, for the filler on the turf is crushed rubber. I believe on this, it might not be nothing, or could be cork, which is a whole lot cooler.
I believe you're right. And what we're hoping is, because this is such a south facing, so the bottom of this screen is south, top is north. With those shade structures, the shade can reach parts of the lawn, but it's certainly not going to shade the entire lawn. That would be, well, that's actually, an option is to get something that would shade the entire lawn. So that we haven't made any decisions on that.
More than anything, just curious about it, only because like a lot of these designs we haven't like seen in so long. And so I just want to make sure that we're not replacing that turf after it gets cooked all summer every couple years. You know what I mean? So I would be really curious to know what's underneath there. And
Okay.
I have faith in the engineers and the architects, but I am just more curious than anything about it.
I do know pretty much on when they're laying that turf, Councilwoman Zaberski, that it's base rock, and then they have a mat, a black mat that's laid down on top of the base rock to give it the cushioning. But I think this might be a little different. But most of the time there's like a plastic mat underneath, right directly underneath the turf, that gives its cushion. And that also works as like a drain. So when it rains, it'll drain off and not puddle up on the turf. And these fields will last, if they're taken care of. The one up at the high school, when we put that one in there, it was only supposed to be 8 to 10 years, and it lasted 12 years. So yeah, these last a long time, and it gets a lot of play.
Thank you.
Councilman Lau?
Oh, sorry, I'm not done. I'm not done yet. Can I stand? I'll be really fast.
Okay, Councilwoman Zaberski, go ahead.
The playground is for public use as well, or is this specifically for our Boys and Girls Club crew?
The playground will be available after hours and at events.
Awesome. Thank you.
We'll go Councilman Lau, Councilman, and then Councilman Torres, and then Councilman Hannon.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention those fields. They're gonna start trying to get away from that ground up tires because they're getting into kids' lungs. And I've been involved on those fields since they started building them here in Nevada, because first field was the UNR intramural field was built first. After 4 failed attempts at doing grass up there, you think we Nevadans could get grass good? We can't, especially when we play on it a lot, as you see with our fields and here in town. But those cork ones would be nice, but they are very hot to be on. They burn your feet because of that black ground up tires gets extremely hot.
Thank you, Councilman Lau, Councilman Torres.
So I guess I'm kind of lost. So what happened to the original plans with the grass and the trees and everything that was there?
It was decided that artificial turf was better, way to go, less maintenance.
But I thought you said that it wasn't included in the original plans.
So it was included on the civil engineering plans, but when the civil engineering plans got put into the final plans, it still said by others. So it was not included in the guaranteed maximum price. So what ended up happening was Corps was going to foot the entire bill for the grass, for the artificial turf. The city is paying for half of it.
So whose mistake is that? I mean, it's $72,000 mistake.
Oh, that was 72,000. It was more than that. The 72,000 is just to remove that northwest area landscaping. So that was a change order. Take out what was going to be planned in the northwest area there and put in a playground instead. That's what the 72,000 was. This is really not about the event lawn that you see right there today. This presentation is not about that. But
Okay, but you showed it, so that kind of made it part of this presentation.
sure,
Where I don't understand how, whether it was more or not, if it's not our mistake, why are we paying for it?
well, honestly, we just felt like it was the right thing to do because we were going to pay for it. It was something we thought we were paying for anyway. And then it just didn't get added. We should have caught it and we didn't.
So actually, we had the money in there for it, but it was,
Well, we thought we were
Yeah.
paying for it. It actually was
Exactly.
not in the guaranteed maximum price. If you were to look at everything in there, it said landscaping, but it didn't say artificial turf. So it was looked over.
Okay, so that doesn't answer the question. Is it our mistake or is it the engineering mistake? Is it core mistake, TSK?
I think by our actions, it was determined that it was mutual.
Okay, but whether that's half of what it should be or not, it's still $70,000. And we're like scraping up, trying to build phase 2. We scraped up trying to build phase 1. And it's a total change from what we thought that we were putting in there from the beginning. We thought we were putting grass and trees, and now we're doing artificial turf and fake coverings, or I'm sorry, metal coverings.
Let me
Okay, so-
clarify. We never thought we were going to put in real grass. It was discussed, just as real trees were discussed in the design phase. We all decided artificial turf, and it was put on the civil engineering plans, artificial turf to be installed by others. When it was integrated into the final plan set, it never got changed to artificial turf, period.
Who's we all? Who's we all made that decision? I don't remember having.
On the
any-
design, on changing it from natural turf to artificial turf? I think that was probably part of the CRRC design committee. It was kind of before my time, but there was a design committee where every week staff would meet, and some city council, I think Flisky was on the committee. Fernley Community Foundation was on the committee. some board members, city staff that were in design. So Derek and probably Tricia, and of course the architects.
Okay, first I have heard that we weren't having grass there because this stuff, as Councilman Lau said, this stuff is super hot. Okay.
Councilman Torres, and I do believe that, I believe it was discussed at a council meeting to get away from the trees and the grass because of the roots and stuff, and they thought it'd be, and because of the water situation. I remember the meeting a little bit, and we discussed, whoever was in the committee and in the meeting, that they would rather have turf than real grass and trees because of the watering problem, and it's easier to take care of. Yeah, I mean, I can try to look back and see if I can find that for you, but.
Well,
Yeah, but I think you're getting confused on the turf and the sage structures and this little part right here that's actually on the agenda. This right here is something added.
The
So-
bubble is what's added.
Yeah,
okay.
this is added.
That's fine. I'm not confused, but when you come up and say that we're going to pay $72,000 for something, kind of piqued my interest a little bit. And I was wondering why, and that's why I asked the questions that I asked.
Sure.
Whose mistake was it?
So
How was it
this-
changed? Who's paying for what? Because as you know, you've been very involved with this. And I mean, we are like doing everything, including bringing in our recycled aluminum cans to pay for this. And that's not a few pennies. So that's why I'm asking. I think in the future, we can't go back right now, but I definitely think from here on out, we have to be very, very involved as a council on phase 2 and phase 3 of this. And not being told by this contractor or this engineer or this company what we're going to do, because they're working for us and we need to tell them what we want, and then we're paying for it, and then move forward. So that's just a suggestion on moving forward.
I couldn't
Thank you.
agree more.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, this is confusing. So what this is really saying is that by removing the original plan to do landscaping in the area that was bubbled, they credited us $72,093. The cost to do the cement and put in the concrete, and also to the grading and the small changes like that, I believe will be less than our credit. Does that make more sense? Okay.
Councilwoman Zabriskie?
I definitely don't want to go, I don't want to go backwards as far as like when we were talking about ideas and whatnot. I was able to be involved in that committee for a short time, and then different people joined the city, and then there was a lot of us that kind of got pushed to the outskirts. And so I definitely don't want to be kind of I guess recognized in that group that made those decisions about the turf and whatnot, because I'm confident that I would not be supportive of the artificial turf. My girls have played softball on it. It will melt your shoes. It's pretty hardcore. So just that. Also, I think that I heard you when Albert was talking about the turf, where you said, no, it's actually a lot more than that. So I am curious as far as what that turf costs in comparison to the landscaping, just for future reference. And like you said, hopefully that we can just be on the same page about all of these decisions that are happening in the future so that we don't have to run into this. Because we want this to happen. We just feel semi-blindsided with some of the plans, and we just want to make sure we understand what's going on so that the vision actually translates to what we've been telling our community is going to happen.
Understood.
Councilman Hannan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Altek, for your presentation. I had a chance to walk down there about a week and a half ago. I parked my car at the depot and walked around the campus, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things that we've done in the city of Fernley. I was really impressed. The amount of work and effort that's gone into this, the collaboration between all the different entities and the city, and the citizens and the foundation, the Boys and Girls Club, everyone's collective input, we've created something. I think we're darn close to, that's the prettiest thing we've ever done. And Fernley, the nicest thing, I think, aside from City Hall. City Hall was a big thing when they built it. But I was very impressed. I walked around. I mean, I like grass, but in the desert, it's hard to grow, and we have problems. And so I look forward to that conversation. I think what's there now is, I think it serves the purpose, and I think that it completes the project, and I think that I'm hoping that we get some life out of it. I just think it's a beautiful project, and I made some posts about it, and the public seems to love it. I think a lot of people didn't even know, that don't live or don't drive through the downtown. A lot of them didn't know what we were even doing. So it's exciting that the public is becoming aware and they're seeing this. It's exciting that we're moving forward with all these projects. And I just want to thank you and your staff and the city of Fernley and all the folks involved for a job well done. Thank you.
Thanks. Certainly not all me. We had a lot of great help. Our city's representative Cummings has been really great. I mean, this project on time, on budget, we're going to receive probably more of the contingency that was saved. So grand opening, we're thinking the last week of August for an official grand opening for the CRRC. Just to throw that in there.
Okay, so are we looking for a motion or discussion, possible action
Yes.
on the playground equipment? Councilwoman Zaborski?
Do we get to see the equipment or like an idea of what it's gonna look like? Oh, I just saw the square that said playground. Is there a picture of the equipment, or can you go back to it, please?
Yes.
Sorry, my
I think-
brain was just spinning about the turf.
Cool.
Yep, that's it.
Very cool. That's not DG at the bottom. That's like the pad, like the soft pad.
You're just, the playground equipment is what we're getting. We're going to be putting ours on turf, not on DG.
Putting the playground on turf as well.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Torres and then Councilman Hannon.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the playground equipment donated by the Boys and Girls Club of Truckee Meadows to the city of Fernley. And thank you.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres, second by Councilman Hannon. Please vote. Or do we have to do it manually again?
Yes.
Ward 1, Councilman Hannon.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaborski.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. We'll now move on to line item 6.1, a discussion possible action to approve additional service request ASR .03 to TSK current Community Response and Resource Center contract. Deputy City Managers Lydia Altick.
Hello again. Deputy City Manager Lydia Altick. So additional service request .03 represents an addition to the current CRRC contract with TSK to complete the Early Learning Center design to 100% construction documents. A little bit of background on April 19th, 2023. Council approved the 50% construction documents for the CRRC Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. So the CRRC, the ELC, Early Learning Center, and the gymnasium, and to move forward only with developing 100% CDs for the CRRC or Phase 1. This is a concept plan looking east. It shows all three phases. In the back is the CRRC, which is constructed. On the right front is the Early Learning Center with a fenced playground area. On the left is the event lawn, which is in place. And behind that is the gymnasium, which is phase 3. This concept, okay, somehow, I'm not going to go into that again. So this is an enlarged floor plan of the ELC. There are 4 classrooms, one for 4 to 5-year-olds, one for 3-year-olds, one for 2-year-olds, one for toddlers, and one for infant learning. There's a reception area. There's an office, a small kitchen, laundry room, and restrooms. This gives you an idea of what it looks like next to the CRRC. The Early Learning Center is on the far left, the smallest rectangle. And so I thought I would give you an update, an explanation of how the city would propose to pay for, and an update on where we are at with the TSK contract. So we propose to pay for the design completion of the ELC through cost savings mostly. We're, as you can see there, optional professional services, we will be saving $38,900, and that was for some cost estimate services, some geotechnical and some survey work that we didn't need or was less than expected. The reimbursable expenses have not been expended. And then there is the $296,662.50 budget not expended yet in the time and materials not to exceed contract with TSK. And that's as of May 31st, 2025. Below is the proposed cost we received from this is the proposed cost that we received from TSK to build or to design the Early Learning Center from 50% to 100% construction documents. So the difference between 50% and 100% is 50% is one in which much of the basic design is done, as you saw in the floor plan, but they're still being circulated to the design team. So structural engineer, mechanical plumbing engineer, electrical engineer, telecommunications, food service, landscape architecture, interior and exterior designers are all still looking at it and making changes to make sure they have a complete plan that works and is ready to go to the building department for approval. The cost they have given us is $258,590, and that includes all the subcontractors, civil engineer, so forth and so on. We do expect to owe, obviously, for June and July to TSK, and we don't know exactly how much that's going to be, but we're projecting we may have a savings of between $260,000 to $300,000.
Councilwoman Zaborski, do you have a question?
Can you repeat that one more time? Because you said we are gonna owe for June and July, but we might have a savings of this much. And so that statement just threw me.
So, for instance, April and May, they billed us for almost $34,000. Okay, so there's still June and July left. They've got $361,000 left and something left in their budget not to exceed. So we're probably not going to spend all that in June and July.
Okay.
Maybe $30,000, maybe $60,000. Just
Okay.
guess.
Do we get even like a general estimate of how much our bill's gonna be for the month, or?
Well, we can base it on what we've seen in the past, and that's kind of why I'm saying that, is that I'm basing it on that.
Okay. I think I have to come in and like just try and understand that a little bit better, because the majority of the construction for the CRRC is done right now. And so I'm curious, like outside of the Early Learning Center, correct? This is just for the Early Learning Center and the documents that come with it. This for the permits and everything initial that goes into it. So we're paying for the hours invested in all of this by TSK.
Right now, we have a contract with them for construction administration. That is all they're doing right now for the CRRC.
Okay, roughly $30,000 a month.
2 months. It was around $34,000 for 2 months, last bill received.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and we have left, there's a few changes. They have to, be able to reconcile everything. So that's why this isn't, I can't say everything is set in stone because everybody needs to reconcile and we need to find out where everybody's at. How much everyone is owed. This is the project schedule that they have given us. It's an estimate. This includes construction. So the whole thing could be done in 74 weeks if we had a builder ready to go, if we had, money to build it, ready to go. And that is going to come from someone else, likely. Any questions?
Does council have any questions? So I think what you're saying is with our savings from the CRRC, we would be able to take those savings and roll them over into 100% for the early learning center.
That's
and
correct.
still save about $100,000 depending on how much June and July's bill for TSK is, correct?
That's right. And what this does is it uses an existing contract, right? So it's additional services requested. We're not starting from scratch, but that is an option. We can certainly put this thing out for an RFP and have someone else design it. This is just one avenue, and that's why I'm presenting that to you. It's ultimately your decision.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion by council.
Are you making a
Yeah.
motion?
Councilwoman Zaberski has a question. I'll yield to her until
Okay,
she's.
Councilwoman Zaberski, go ahead.
I think it's smart to continue with the people that originally made the center, but I would just hope that with this contract that city council and like our advisory committee for CRRC is kept pretty involved with the construction of the early learning center.
With the design as well,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
please. Thank you.
Councilman Hannan,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm prepared to make a motion. I move to approve ASR 03 of the CRRC contract with TSK, accelerating the ELC design to 100% construction document status.
Second that motion.
we have a motion by Councilman Hannan, second by Councilman Lau,
Hurdle.
and we'll do a verbal vote. Ward 1, Councilman Hannan.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries
Thank you, Ms. Alpert.
4-0.
Good job.
Thanks.
So thank you. We will now move on to line item 6.2, possible action to approve a revised additional work contract with Wood Rogers for $183,458 for the conveyance of federal lands to the city of Fernley. Deputy City Manager Lydia Altek.
Hello, Deputy City Manager Lydia Altick for the record. This is an exciting project it's too bad that it had to raise its price, but unfortunately we added 5 more parcels fortunately, right, to phase 2. So this presentation gives you and the public a chance to see what we're up to, phase 1 and phase 2, and why those prices were raised. This is, if you can tell, the top parcels that are hatched are what has been added to phase 2 for a total of 15 parcels. So on what this slide is explaining is that our phase 2 contract budget, which expired on June 30th, 2025, was for $291,000, and that was for the 10 parcels. We, as of April 30th, 2025, out of that budget, we have expended $202,656.78. That leaves the remaining budget $92,255.72. The new Phase 2 federal land conveyance added 5 additional parcels, and the revised additional work proposal, time and materials not to exceed, is for $183,458. So that basically raises their contract by $91,202.28 to do all 15. Does that make sense?
Councilwoman Zaberski.
Can you go back to
Yeah,
that page,
sure.
please? The math is just not 291,000, subtract the 202,000.
Then that leaves you $92,255.72 to finish Phase 2, which was 10 parcels. Then we added the 5 parcels, so they revised their contract, and I'm going to go a little bit into why they had to revise their contract and what additional costs there were.
Okay, because 291,000 subtract 202,656.78, I got 88,343.
What? Did I do my math wrong? Oh, geez.
Just,
That's why I'm not the treasurer.
okay. I'm really just, want to make sure that I'm like not losing my mind, because I know that just looking at that.
Thank you for
the
checking
math
that.
Does not.
I apologize for that, but you get the idea. There is a balance left in the contract, and when subtracted from the contract they're giving us now, it tells you how much more they're really charging us, which is around $91,202.28, something like that.
Okay, so it'll be more than what we have remaining in the budget for Wood Rogers.
Actually, it's already in the budget, and this is why. We don't spend more than, I project $80,000 a year in the budget. We don't, since this contract is going to be about 3 years, we do have enough in the budget. We don't have to change the budget.
Okay. If.
It'll just take longer.
Once we redo this page with the right numbers, could you email that to us, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Councilman Torres.
So what's the amount going to be that we're approving today? Is it going to be,
$183,458. You're going to be approving a new contract.
and that's with the corrections to the math, right?
Yeah, I know that the 183 is right because that's what it says in the contract. My math was wrong.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Councilman Hannan.
Mr. Mayor, there's nothing further. I'm ready to make a motion. I move to enter into a contract with Wood Rogers for $183,458 to assist with additional work to complete the authorized conveyance of federal lands to the city under the 2014 National Defense Authorization Act.
Second that motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannan, seconded by Councilman Lau, and we will do a manual vote. Ward 1, Councilman Hannan.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaberski.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We are on line item 7.1. Discussion possible action to approve resolution 25-010 to update the planning department fee schedule reflecting the amounts shown in the revised contracts with DOWL Engineering for surveying and engineering plan review services. Ms.
Thank you,
Rambo.
Mr. Mayor, members of council. Michelle Rambo, Planning Director for the record. I have a very short PowerPoint just to bring you kind of up to speed for how we got here. So items 2.4 and 2.5 of your consent agenda tonight were contracts with the Dowell Engineering for some outside reviewing services. First one was a surveying contract. We've had a contract with Dowell for years now to provide surveying services for certain planning applications where they need certain map reviews. The second contract is a relatively new one that was approved for the first time in April. And that was originally through the engineering department. And that is to cover engineering review of planning applications. So first step in a planning application, once we get it, is to route it to different departments and different agencies for them to look at. One of those is the engineering department. So since the engineering department is no longer doing in-house reviews, we've got an outside consultant doing it. And that includes reviewing development applications to ensure compliance, reviewing hydrology, drainage, geotechnical, and traffic studies, reviewing utility plans, providing conditions of approval, and attending various meetings. So I pulled the fees schedules directly from those contracts that you approved earlier. And a couple of notes I wanted to point out. These surveying fees went up for the most part between $50 and $100 per application type. One of them went up $700 and another one actually went down $300. And then on the right-hand side is the planning application review fees. Most of them, 11 of the 16, are $1,200 or below. We have 3 that are in the 2,000 range. And then the two biggest costs are the plan developments and the tentative subdivision maps, which actually correlates because those are our 2 most complex applications that we look at. So just to give you an idea how this works, it's the same way we've been doing the survey monies that we've been collecting. We collect those fees as part of the planning department application fee. We hold on to them until the application has been reviewed, and then we send the money to the consultant via invoice. So, and the other thing I wanted to point out, a couple of things, is that none of the city fees are changing. These are all outside consultants' fees that are as a result of those contracts. So doing it this pass-through method, we don't keep the money. It all gets sent back to the consultant or sent on to the consultant. So it doesn't impact the city in any way. And then this is the proposed new fee schedule. All of the changed fees are in here on that particular version of the table. So you can see how everything fits together. And again, the planning fee column, the noticing fee column, and the technology fee column are not changing. So it's just those fees that we don't have control over right now that are changing. So that is my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Torres.
So I know that the fees have to go up. It's just the cost of doing business. And maybe this question is for, I don't know, anybody and everybody. Why are we not doing internal anymore through engineering?
I'm gonna pass that over to Maria. This was the engineering department decision.
Thank you.
Maria Paz Fernandez, city engineer. It is my understanding that we have not done internal engineering review prior my time. I think Shaw Engineering was doing the review. Am I correct?
The previous city engineer was doing in-house reviews until he left.
Okay, it doesn't answer the question. I know the timeline, but why are we not doing them inside?
I don't have the staff to do the review.
Didn't we just hire a bunch of people or people that are supposed to be hired after July 1? Like, I know that we are looking for a new project manager for engineering. I know that we're full with the previous engineers have been rehired. I know that we hired an associate planner. I mean, we spent a lot of money in this last budget to make sure that we had extra staff, and we're spending more money out than we were before we hired all those people. So I'm just very confused on why are we hiring people to keep things inside, but then we stop doing things inside.
Those hires have not been in my department. I believe the discussion was for the utility department. I would like more. No, I get what you're saying. However, I haven't hired an engineering yet.
He's not here. I guess, how many engineers do we have that we're supposed to have? We're supposed to have 3 engineers. All 3 of those engineers are currently filled, correct?
In my department, I'm the only engineer.
You're the only engineer?
In my department, in the engineering department, yes.
Then who is the lady in the office next to you? Who does she work for?
Yeah, this is Sung Kim, utility director for the record. We hired one new engineer, one lady, and she and I are the only 2 engineers in my department so far. We are proposing or we are recommending to the council that we need 2 more engineers later on because we have so many projects going on in utility department. But there are 2 engineers right now at this moment for the utilities department, me and this new engineer.
So with the additional hiring that we have done or approved, we're not really saving any money from going outside.
Right, that's our intention. We are spending a lot of money to outside engineering consultant, but our new engineer and me can save a great deal of portion of that money going out. And we will show you later, maybe end of this year or next year, how much savings we could make and how efficient was it for us to proceed with all the projects.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Rambo.
Councilman Hannon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a question and I'm prepared to make a motion. Good evening, Ms. Rambo. Ms. Altick's out of the hot seat now. So these fees, they're paid by the person who's applying, right? So
By the developer or the
so-
applicant, yes.
So it doesn't cost the city any money per
No.
se. That's what I thought. So with that being said, I move to approve resolution 25-010 to update the planning department fee schedule.
Second that motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Hannon, seconded by Councilman Lau. Do we need to take a verbal? Okay. Ward 1, Councilman Hannon.
Yes.
Ward 2, Councilwoman Zaborski.
Yes.
Ward 3, Councilman Lau.
Yes.
Ward 4, Councilman Torres.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. We will now move on to line item 8, public forum. This portion of the meeting devoted to the public. If you wish to comment, you can do so in person in the meeting or raise your hand feature Zoom. Star 9 if you're participating via phone. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please avoid repetition. Is there any public input at this time?
Debbie Skinner for the record. I just wanted to concur with Felicity on the turf for their CRC building. And even though you guys have a change for some funds that are not allocated, that you might consider and go back to the drawing board when you place the playground, maybe to do something similar to the foam that is at the ACES Stadium. And their playground, it's really nice. It stays cool. It is not like that hot turf. That artificial turf is extremely hot, even though they've made different things to do and maybe have a spell off, maybe some type of orifice underneath it that'll kind of keep it cooling. You guys are, I think, shooting yourselves in the foot. The facility is beautiful. The layout is beautiful, but to put that turf down where you're going to have outdoor concerts and stuff, you're really asking for a liability. So if not anything else that's already done, the playground and you know, to put that playground equipment, you probably have not laid down the material that's there. I would strongly suggest for the safety of our children and for the liability of the city that you might reconsider something of that foam and not do the artificial turf.
Any other public comment? Okay.
Well, you know, you don't.
Hi, Becky Hallett for the record. I'm here representing Fernley 4th of July, and to give you an update, we have over 70 vendors at the park this year. I think we have 60 entries into the parade, including someone that's running for a position with the state next year, I'm assuming, because that's when the election will be. And it looks like it will be fun and lots of entertainment. Might be a little warm, so drink lots of water, hydrate before you come out.
All right, thank you. Any other public input? There you go.
Good evening. For the record, Scott Barnes, Vice President for Entitlement for Mark IV Capital. This is a little bit after the fact, but regarding the last item, 7.1, we support what staff is doing by hiring outside consultants for plan review, for surveying and engineering, because it speeds up our review time. It isn't uncommon. If you check with the cities of Reno, Sparks, and Washoe County, they have been doing the same thing for well over 20 years. Used to be, and you can tell by my hair, that was a long time ago, the agencies had people on staff, a PLS, professional land surveyor, to do map checks. They had other PEs on staff to do some of the engineering design. Now, it makes more sense to hire that out from a consultant basis, because you don't have to have a full-time PLS on staff. And you all know that the permits kind of ebb and flow. And so it is efficient for a city to do that. So that's why we support what the city's doing. We welcome them adding more outside consultants to do that review, to pick up in times when there's too many applications being submitted for staff to handle. So we applaud staff for taking that step and doing that. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other public input at this time? Anybody on Zoom? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Tyler, and I just had a quick idea on behalf of the city. If the city would approve it, just some sort of like a donation. If the city could organize something like that. Put some send out some it doesn't have to be big, but just send something out, and everybody that wants to donate could leave it by their home. And yeah, basically just a donation drive, as long as it's quality donations.
Sir, not really sure. What was your name again? And then all for the record, and then also, you did donation for what?
Gently used clothes, um, shoes, blankets for the winter.
Okay, sir, if you would, I have an open door policy. I'd be more than happy if you come into the office here, be more than happy to sit down and speak to you about it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else on Zoom? Okay, so I forgot to announce that Friday, the office will be closed for the 4th of July, and our next meeting will be July 16th at 5 p.m. And happy 4th of July, everybody. This meeting's adjourned.